Hi guys, welcome back on board to the Crypto Cruiser. It's me Chris, and today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and that's going to be the market's look ahead and what I'm thinking is going to play out for BTC next week, where we're going, and of course we're going to talk some traditional markets such as S&P 500. But before we do that, let's just start with the Bitcoin chart and so far how it's been playing out since I launched my channel. I've been nothing but right since the prices of around 66,000. I've told you that I anticipate a huge downward momentum, start hitting prices below 60,000, and then a final wash off, a shake off all the weak hands and start testing prices below 50,000. And that's exactly how it played out. That was just a false breakdown, a bear trap to confuse all the participants in the markets, including the bulls. From here, I said I anticipate a huge bounce back, consolidation phase, and a local top at 65,000. But how did I know that? Because S&P 500 was already correcting, and I've said that it will be healthy for the overall trend to actually correct. So that's exactly what we did. We had a 10% ABC correction, and nothing more than the extraordinary, just a regular one. And from here, I said I anticipate a huge V-shaped recovery. I mean, you can turn back some of my videos, guys. Everything has been documented, and that's exactly what we did. V-shaped recovery. And once we were testing its previous all-time highs, I said it would be healthy for the overall trend to actually come back and test this huge previous resistance line, and we turn into support, and then we have a continuation of the trend on the upside, and that's exactly what we did. We bounced back. We had the test at the bottom of this reverse head and shoulders, and then we start hitting all-time highs. In the process, we formed a reverse head and shoulders, as I've mentioned, which is a bullish signal, and the measurement from the head to the bottom, it's around 6,250. So by the end of the year, early next one, I anticipate S&P 500 testing prices of above 6,000 and potentially 6,200, and even go and test this huge resistance line at prices of above 6,500. It's very important as well to hold this line here as resistance. In my personal opinion, there's no reason to panic. The structure remains bullish. This correction reminds me quite a lot of what happened here between the period of end of July and end of October 2023. We had a huge correction, over 17% on the downside, and some of these big YouTubers were calling for a bear market. We're going to the abyss. We actually shot on the upside, and we had a huge bull run. So I mean, of course, this correction is way smaller than what it used to be in between the period of July and October. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the structure remains bullish. Nothing has been invalidated. This is just something that happens every now and then for the healthy overall bull trend, and corrections we're gonna have along the way, because nothing goes in a straight up line. But let's get back to the Bitcoin chart and just get back from here to 65,000. I've told you that we're gonna drop first to 57, 58. That's what we did, and then potentially we're gonna go 55, 54. And right here I've told you this is not the bottom. The bottom will be at 52,000, retest at 53. We took this bear trap at 57. We start hitting we start hitting higher prices, and so basically from here I turn bullish as well. So from price of around 70,000, I've told you we're gonna drop to prices below 50,000 to 65,000. I called it a local top. Then I've said we're gonna drop to 52,000 to all-time highs perfectly. So now, and in the process, we actually formed a triangle pattern that we broke out on the 19th of September. We tested it once on 3rd of October, and we tested it again on 11th of October. And I've told you when the price of Bitcoin were around 58,000, I told you this won't last long. We're gonna have a huge upside momentum, start taking out this local top at 66,500, and potentially we're gonna hit 70,000. And that's exact. I mean, we hit 69,600 in my book. That's 70,000. And then I said once we hit 70,000, we're gonna have a pullback. We're gonna have a correction. We're gonna test these previous local tops at 66,500 and 65,000. We're gonna turn them into support, In the process, we formed a W formation and continuation of the trend on the upside, and we start hitting almost all-time highs above 73,000, 74,000, exactly as predicted. Then I said I anticipate a pullback between the price of around 69,000 and then a final upside momentum, start testing price of around 76, 77,000, test this huge yearly resistance line. Then we're gonna get rejected and we're gonna go in a huge correction. This whole month of November we're gonna have corrected when, and once we're gonna go up price of above 75, 76,000, and everyone turns bullish in their own mother, then we turn bearish and we start correcting. Something like that I thought is gonna play out. I mean, I'm not sure. Anything I say in this video is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do your diligence and make your own research. And the thing is this: if I have been right all the time, this doesn't mean that I'm gonna be right all the time in the future. It's just the way it played out. Especially short-term analysis is the most, in my personal opinion, the most difficult one, because no one can predict the future, especially in the short term. We don't know when the market's gonna go up or down. So because that's not the financial advice at the end of the day. But I'm still sticking with that position. Now, if we start dropping and start going, because I can clearly see we're at 68,000 now, 500. So now we've been correcting quite a lot. So for the next few days, I anticipate a huge recovery, and we go up in levels. And listen, if we don't take out this top here at 73,600, and let's say we have a bounce back, but we go only to 72,000, and then we formed another lower low. Let's say we go below 67,000. Outside, then the correction has started, and this whole month is gonna be correcting, and potentially we're gonna go to prices below 60,000, perhaps 59,000. Then we're gonna form a W formation, and then by December, January, we're gonna start. End of December, end of the year, we're gonna start hitting all-time highs above 80,000. So then we're gonna have like a huge V-shaped recovery or something like that. Or the other option, the other scenario, is if we don't go up in prices, but we remain at higher lows. Let's say we still have a bounce and we still push levels at around 72,000, but then we just go back to 69,000. Then we go to 73 to 70 and start slowly but surely hitting higher highs and higher lows, consolidate a little bit between price of 73 and 69,000, and then by 20th of November, huge upside momentum, and we break out of this huge yearly resistance line and potentially start hitting prices of around 90,000 by end of November or early December. That's also a very huge possibility. Which one I think potentially can play out? I mean, my base case scenario was that we're gonna have a huge correction in November. It's always been that way. So I can't just ignore the charts, and I think this move from here, from 10th of October to now, we didn't have like a big correction apart from here, from this one. So I'm not gonna be surprised again. This is something that might, let's say, on 60%, something like that potentially can play out. Now, if we don't go up and start hitting all-time high prices of around 76,000, and it pretty much we go 70, let's say 72, and then start hitting a lower low at price of around 67,000, then consolidate, we significantly drop to 64 or 65, then again drop to 62. You know, this is my best case scenario. This is something that I think is gonna play out. The only question mark I have is that are we gonna go all the way to 76 or 77, or are we gonna start correcting from now? Pretty much. Now, of course, there's another possibility. I'll give it 40% chance, quite a big percentage, that we don't correct. We just consolidate in these prices. Now, if I see something like that, consolidation, and remain higher lows, and slowly but surely setting up higher highs and consolidation most of November, then I would say this is a gearing up for a huge move on the upside. So it'll be quite interesting to see how it's gonna play out. So far, so good. My predictions have been coming out right. To be fair, quite perfectly. Um, but let's see how it's gonna play out next week. Of course, there's gonna be the election, and this can potentially rattle the markets, but only the short term. In the long term, I remain bullish for Bitcoin and for the crypto markets, and not only for the traditional markets as well. And yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the support, for all the lovely comments. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe to my Patreon, please do it. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon and really support my work, you can get my two books: the Crypto Guidebook with over 60 pages filled with very useful information, and the other one, the Art of Chart Analysis, with over 70 pages filled with very useful information of how to spot the bullish trend, the bearish trend, and how to become a sophisticated trader. I think that'll be quite interesting for you as well. And of course, once you subscribe to my Patreon, you get an exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins out there, with some of them 50-60x potential. Of course, anything I say in this video is not a financial advice, it's for pure entertainment purposes, and before you do anything, do your diligence. Once again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And thank you so much for the support, and we'll see each other later on. Goodbye.